So I do really need to talk about this because the Dallas Wings are in a feverish situation. They're in a really feverish situation where, as crazy as this sounds, they might have fucked up so badly that trading Paige Bueckers might have to happen soon. Like, if you think, oh yeah, there's no way they'll do that. There's no way they'll trade their franchise player. It's not going to happen next year because they're moving to the American Airlines Center. It's not. But like, if they start half selling out the big arena, which they will, they're going to start half selling out the big arena. They're in a really bad spot because Paige triggers an epic extension. When Paige triggers her epic, in a similar way to how when Caitlin triggers her epic, it becomes really difficult to keep Kelsey Mitchell on the roster. In a very similar way, you lose a whack Jess Shepard. You lose a whack probably anyway. You lose Jess Shepard when Paige's triggers. And I think it's a lot easier to get off Lexi. Or it's a lot easier to get off what's her name? To get off Mo Billings is to get off Alana Smith's contract. And Enrique's on that long-term max too. And it just feels to me like they're in a position now where they're going to lose in the first round this year. Like, they don't have the toughest run in, but like I can see them losing. I think they play the Sun and the Storm and stuff. Like, I don't see them winning out the season. They play a Fever again in a few days, and a lot of this comes... If they lose this Fever game, they're the 8th seed. Like, if they lose to the Indiana Fever, they are 20-17. They're pushing 500. Like, they're 8 or 7, and they're not beating Golden State or Minnesota. I think we can all admit that they're not beating Golden State or Minnesota. So, the only positive is you've got 2 first-round picks this year, I guess. But, like, if you look at their schedule for the rest of the year, they play the Fever, and that's a game they should win. But then they play, like, the Storm, Fire, Sun, Sparks, Mercury, Storm. To get into above the 8th seed, they play what? They have 8 games left. They gotta go 5-3 minimum. And, like, do I think they beat the Mercury twice? No. I don't. Like, the Mercury are one of those vet teams that are going to be, like, are going to be continuing to try win games. Do I think they beat the Sun, or say the Storm twice? No, I think they split that. I think they probably beat the Sun at home, who are trying to lose, but like, I think they split the Storm. So it's a really difficult one. And if they go and lose this, they are in cap hell. If they get swept first round of the playoffs, you're going into next year with a situation where it's like you might be down so bad that you've got no real future, you've got no present, and you've got 2 trade assets in Paige Bueckers and AZ Foot. And that being said, again, this is a nuclear option. Just like Caitlin being traded is the nuclear option. I think we all understood that. That is the nuclear option. But this time next year, we might start to have conversations about the nuclear option because coming into the end of the season, they are in cap hell. The Alana Smith contract has screwed them. It has screwed them long term. And we're now looking at the stage where do you go and look at whoever gets, if you are the Houston Comets. Let's say if you're the Houston Comets and you have the number 1 pick. Would you be tempted to say, you know what? We'll give you number 1 for. And then it's like, okay, do we rebuild with Juju? Do we rebuild with Juju or and try to sort all this out? Because these are conversations that are going to not be had, but we're gearing towards the nuclear option. Because when you have Paige and Enrique, who as a combo just don't work, and you have Enrique tied down on a long-term max, and she's the greatest player in your franchise history, and as an organization, we've seen it with some organizations where, like the Sky, where they chose a Courtney Vandersloot over an Angel Reese, where the Fever are probably going to do the same with a Kelsey Mitchell over a Caitlin. That this is a league that treats loyalty really well. And someone in the chat just said salary cap goes up every year. It does. But when you're a Rike or Alana Smith, you have salaries tied to percentages. Alana Smith's salary is 17% of the cap every year, and so is Enrique's. So the epic provision is almost like, you know the way in the NBA where teams are getting off people because of the second apron, they don't want to do this. The epic provision and hard cap, for guards especially, because there are so many good guards coming up. Like if you look at the 2027 WNBA draft, Madison Booker, big guard. Juju, big guard. Hannah Hidalgo, guard. Samaya Nichols, guard. Mylasia Fulwiley, guard. Cool. Clara Strack's not a guard. And then if you want to look at forwards, who are the best forwards? Like Chloe Kitts. Is Chloe Kitts the best forward in this draft? And it's like, we're now at the stage where you're just like, there's no, outside like Sarah Strong and like Toby Fournier is good. The standard of forwards is so bad. And the standard of guards, young guards coming through is so good that it's like forwards become gold dust. And a super max potentially contract player who, let's be very clear, like they're not going to be able to pay Paige supermax. If Paige wants out of Dallas, which I don't see why she would want to stay. Like there's a lot less reason for Paige to want to stay in Dallas than Caitlin to want to stay in Indiana. And you've got a team. I don't know, maybe you got a team like Minnesota who in 2 years' time, when she becomes a restricted free agent, when she becomes an RFA and gets offered a max and the Dallas Wings can't match the max, or she wants to go and it's like, okay, what do we do here? Like if she wants to get to Minnesota, I think she's going to get to Minnesota. That's the scariest thing about all this. I think if she wants to get to Minnesota, she's going to get to Minnesota, and I wouldn't be that surprised if she wants out. I really wouldn't. But again, these are early conversations. These are really, really early conversations. We are speculating right here. But in a year's time, if Dallas are still mediocre, and Paige is still looking like, I'm about to say it was like looking like she fits in, but it's like Paige doesn't really fit out. She kind of fits in. She fits into a team and is struggling when she's not fitting out. Then I don't really know. Like I don't see Fernandez being in the job next year. I don't. And I also wouldn't be that surprised if we start to hear rumblings about her wanting out. I really wouldn't be that surprised. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, I will see you guys.